want to introduce you with the second thing on the agenda. And you'll come right up to the microphone, and if you'll have your time to speak, we try and keep it 15 minutes. You can watch it. The floor is all yours.
This way.
Yeah, you're gonna face council. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, they going on this. Sure. Yeah, don't mind. That's the short. Yeah, they've done it these days. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Madam Clerk, the time is now 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The time is now 7 p.m. I'd like to get this regular Township Council meeting to order. I'll start with roll call. Councilwoman Perone.
Present.
Councilman Anderson is going to be a little bit late. Councilwoman McIntosh.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Present.
Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here this evening. We have a few things on the agenda tonight. And this evening we will be having an executive session later. But to start off, we will go into our prayer, which will be led by I tell you, this IT has a mind of its own. They were in here all day, making sure it worked. Okay. This is loud. Can you turn it down some? Oh. Okay, yeah. It sounds like there's a feedback. Yes, that's off right now. Yep, that's it. Okay, we'll fix that. Mr. Harris, if you'd be able to maybe get Miles in. But we'll have Pastor George Livingston from Cathedral of Love Community Church.
Thank you so much. A little feedback doesn't hurt us, right? Reminds me of Sunday service.
Yes, wake us
No.
up.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, to Madam Mayor Whitfield, the council, to everyone here present with us on today. Bring you greetings from the Cathedral of Love Community Church. And that's right here in Beverly Rancocas Road. And we would like to pray tonight that this council meeting is effective and productive. Amen.
Amen.
Let us pray. Eternal and Almighty God, we come before you on this evening with gratitude for the gift of community and the opportunity to serve the people of Willingboro. We thank you for the blessings of unity, wisdom, and peace that sustain our township. And Lord, we ask that you guide this council through deliberation as we make decisions that affect the lives of our residents. Grant each member the clarity of mind, the humility of heart, and the spirit of collaboration. Let every discussion tonight be marked by respect, integrity, and a shared desire for a common good. We pray for our leaders here and across the nations, that they may lead with courage and compassion. We pray for our citizens, that they may remain engaged, hopeful, and supportive of one another. And most importantly, God, we pray for our community right here, that your hand of protection and prosperity and peace may continue to rest upon us and every household in Willingboro. Bless this meeting, O Lord, that all is done here that is pleasing in your sight, and on tonight that it be done decently and in order and for the good of all. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Livingston. Madam Clerk?
Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Compliance statement. Notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the Office of Township Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have no presentations at this time, and we did our proclamations for Breast Cancer Month and Mental Health Awareness earlier, Fire Prevention Week earlier this month. So we will move right along to our manager's municipal updates.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the governing body and Willingboro community. I have submitted my full monthly report. So I'm just going to encapsulate some items from that report. From a financial perspective, Willingboro continues to remain in a strong, healthy financial position as we enter into this final quarter of 2025. Revenue collection is right on point with some notables. Construction brought in an additional 52,000 this year, 1,200 in CCOs, 12,000 in rentals, 3,500 in resales, 6,800 in zoning applications, and 4,700 in rental property registrations, as well as the inclusion of 13,000 plus from facility rentals in the recreation department. I believe that Mr. Tunstall, his department, is on track to do its third consecutive year of over $1 million in revenue. So we are looking for those figures to top what was done last year. and Willingboro is still in a strong financial position. As always, the key expenditures are our health, our employee salaries, health insurance, and essential operational purchases, but there are no significant budget overruns because of prudent financial management from our directors and their departments. And we are well positioned for the upcoming winter months in the final quarter of 2024. We are also in the process of preparing our 2020, I said 2024, I meant 2025, I'm sorry. We are also in the process of preparing our 2026 budget. And although we probably will experience a increase, most of that will be for uncontrollable expenses like health insurance and things like that, our trash collection. Things are a little out of our control because our directors of our departments have been really working very efficiently to make sure that spending is kind of flat, I will say. So from a public safety perspective, the Willingboro Police Department and EMS, they have been actively engaging with the community while always ensuring public safety. The police department is still strong with 70 sworn officers. We welcome 4 new recruits who continue to provide ongoing training. You know, some of the things that they did in the month of September was the back to school clapping event, donations from local organizations for children in distress, and participation in neighborhood watch meetings and community outreach events promoting resources for substance disorder treatment. Crime prevention efforts have been highlighted through public advisories regarding vehicle theft, with an increased emphasis on community engagement. You know, this is the time of the year when the weather drops and everyone wants to go out and warm up their cars. Those are the vehicles that are most susceptible to theft. So we are encouraging persons not to do that. And we will be sharing information with the community on our social media platforms as just a reminder. Our fire and EMS operations, they have reported a range of incidents, including several structure fires and emergency rescues, some of which that we did share at our last meeting. The effective response times and operational capabilities reflect a commitment to community safety, and with a strong emphasis on training and preparedness. When it comes to preparedness, we are preparing to replace our deputy fire chief, who was planning to retire at the end of January in 2026. So as always, we keep looking forward to transition in the department and promotion for jobs well done. Our Department of Public Works has been very busy. They're beginning the leaf collection season. I'm very happy to report that they are on track and on time for a very successful leaf collection season. One thing that we are going to be doing a little differently is letting the residents know in advance when we will be collecting in their parks. So when you see those signs, we're coming, please, don't wait till the signs go away to put your leaves out. Let that be a forewarning that within the next week or so that we will be collecting leaves in your area. Some of the things that DPW has completed this month, the pole barn construction underwent its final inspection on October the 17th. They have closed and winterized the pools and have done several road safety improvements, collected 176 bags of trash alongside the emptying of 535 32-gallon cans. So they've been very busy. With stormwater management, they inspected and cleaned 201 catch basins. And, you know, we've had a couple of very serious rain events over the last couple of months, and DPW has really worked very hard in preparation for those events to make sure that our catch basins and streets are prepared to deal with the water. And we've had very insignificant flooding instances because of repairs that we are making in our infrastructure. and the efforts that they take to enable us to handle those types of weather scenarios, which I hate to say they're not decreasing, but they are increasing in number and severity. So my hope is that as we get into the winter months, that they'll slack off, because wet weather and cold air equals, yeah. Our inspections department has also been very busy. They conducted 1,509 inspections, resulting in a high closure rate of violations with the focus on compliance. This efficiency supports regulatory stability and contributes to the township's overall revenue. From our engineer, who was not able to be with us this evening, we're just going to report that the Jake's Place Playground and Pickleball Courts, those plans are in their final stages with expectations to advertise bids within the next 30 to 45 days. That's being facilitated by Remington and Vernick Engineering. The Kennedy Center Track Project, the pre-construction meeting is scheduled for October the 28th, with construction anticipated to commence shortly thereafter. Residents are being advised that the track will be closed for approximately 3 weeks during the construction, and ask them to make find alternative walking spaces during that period. And maybe I'll have a conversation with Mr. Lowry to see if we can open up the inner gym and allow them to walk inside in the mornings. We'll have that conversation. The Edge Lane roadway improvements are scheduled to begin in November of 2025 with work contracted to Paving Plus from Glassboro. This project is expected to be completed quickly, weather permitting. The Babbitt Lane stormwater basin repair, the design work is ongoing with project specifications expected to be finalized within the next 3 to 4 weeks. A resolution will be presented at the November meeting to address repair work on Executive Lane for sinking curb lines and sidewalks, with a similar project for Tidewater Drive planned for 2026. The Kennedy Center remodeling project is moving along rather well. We're going to be presenting a resolution to accept the design to the governing body in November, with bids prepared thereafter. So if there's any final comments from council members, please get those to me by Friday so we can address any last minute concerns or issues. The floating docks for Crystal Lake, a request for design has been sent out to our engineers, backed by a $175,000 grant that we received from Burlington County. The initial estimates that were put forth for this project, the last time we kind of looked into it, were around $165,000. So we are very hopeful that with minor adjustments for inflation, the project aims to be ready for spring of 2026 and to come within that $175,000 grant allotment, or if need be, with some minor additions from our capital expenditures for 2026. And despite the end of the year, the engineering department remains proactive, pushing forward with projects that enhance the community's livability, thank you, and accessibility, as we just completed some handicap ramps in various areas of the community. So PSC&G can complete their paving efforts in 2025. So as Willingboro approaches the final quarter of 2025, it stands resilient and proactive. The combination of a strong financial performance, effective public safety measures, and robust infrastructure projects reflect a commitment to enhancing the quality of life for our residents here. And the township remains focused on community engagement, safety, and the continuous improvement of local services, ensuring that Willingboro is a better place to live and work as it moves into 2026. So that concludes my report for this evening, and I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson if she will come and share some of the goings-on in the community over the next several weeks.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and all those assembled. We are counting down the days to this year's annual trunk or treat. We have over 40 trunksters who've signed up, and we're looking forward to a festive event. And that event will be this Saturday, October 25th from 2 to 4 at the Kennedy Center. We certainly appreciate all those who've signed up as trunksters, event volunteers, and those who plan to donate candy. We appreciate it all. We know the children will too. As a reminder, this event is geared towards children 12 and under, and all children must be in costume and accompanied by an adult. Also happening on Saturday, October 25th, is the DEA Drug Take Back Day, and that will be hosted by our Willingboro Police Department. The event will be held from 10 a.m. to 2 near the rear of this building, and all are encouraged to bring their unneeded medication and have it disposed safely. The Burlington County Prosecutor's Office, among others, will be hosting an expungement clinic and social services fair. That will be held here at the Kennedy, will be held at the Kennedy Center tomorrow, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 6. This is a free event, no appointment needed, and a free lunch will be offered to those in attendance. And while not Willingboro Township sponsored, we are the host, so we want to make sure our community members are aware. As Mr. Harris shared, the leaf collection will begin on Monday, October 27th. Information has been sent to our residents regarding the schedules and procedures, and signage will be placed in the parks to remind everyone of their leaf collection day and time. Registration is now open for the Veterans Day breakfast, which will be held on Tuesday, November 11th. Breakfast will be served at 9:30, followed by a program at 11. And this event is free to all veterans. The cost for additional guests is $10. And registration is required by November the 1st. We're looking ahead to our annual tree lighting, which will be held on Friday, December 5th. We are looking for local performances to be featured at this year's event. And Breakfast with Santa will be held on Saturday, December 13th at 10 a.m. Stay tuned for more information about our Santa Run and Holiday House Decorating Contest. And all information will also be included in our holiday mailer, which is scheduled to be delivered to all residents right around Thanksgiving. All are encouraged to visit willingboroRec.com for ongoing dance and fitness classes, pickleball, basketball sessions, and more hosted by our Recreation Department. And as always, for more information about all of these, you can visit our website, our social media platforms, Willingboro Weekly, and of course, our app. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Councilwoman Perrin.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson, just one question. With regards to the Veterans Day breakfast, is there a people cap, like a number count where you're cutting off?
We probably won't count, I mean, the banquet hall is pretty
doing it in a
large,
large banquet hall?
Yeah, we're doing a large banquet hall, so we should be okay.
Okay,
Okay.
just curious. Thank you.
Ms. Jackson, you can leave that there for a minute. Does any other council member have any questions for Mr. Harris? Okay. Yes, Councilman Anderson.
Just a quick question. I know at the last council meeting, I mentioned the dog stations. Have they been since removed? Because I had some residents saying they used to be in certain spots, but they no longer see them. So I wasn't sure what was happening.
So there were some issues in the placement in front of some of the residents' homes. So we did take some of them and reconsider their optimum location. So maybe those specific ones have been relocated, but they are planted around Willingboro, projected to be planted around Willingboro. Yeah.
So they were removed, but they weren't put into the new locations as of yet. Is that correct?
So not all of them were removed. Some of them were removed.
I think all but 3.
Okay.
When will the other ones go back down? Just where I can just give those residents a follow-up.
So I'll have to defer that question to Mr. Chapman.
Okay, thank you.
If you have an answer, Mr. Chapman.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We do have the confirmed new locations. However, we're going into leaf season. I don't know if we'll be able to get that scheduled prior to leaf collection. So that might have to get pushed to 2026, beginning of the year.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. And I did have one other follow-up, Mr. Harris. We did talk, or I raised some concerns last meeting about the track remodel at the Kennedy Center. Um, it was projected for an asphalt surface, and I had asked for, or the council was in agreement that we wanted the rubberized surface on the top. Were those changes made? Would you be able to give an update on that?
Yes, those changes were taken into consideration and incorporated into the construction project. That did increase the cost, but that wasn't a factor. What became an issue is they cannot install that rubbery texture unless the weather is 60 degrees and climbing. So we will do the base construction this year and install the rubber coating when the weather warms in 2026.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Harris, with the base layer being constructed and then the rubber later, will the track be accessible and safe for residents to use during that time?
The track will be accessible and safe for residents to use after the construction, yes.
After this base construction before the rubber?
Yes.
Can you share what that texture, like, is it like, what is that they'll be walking on? Just because I know we're gonna get a lot of questions because it's not gonna be the same surface that they're used to seeing.
So the base is going to be like asphalt concrete, which you would see like,
Okay.
in a parking lot. But on
Okay.
top of
But it's
that,
not loose.
no,
Okay,
no.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so that under layer will take 3 weeks to finish that portion, and then the rubberized topping will be done next year.
Yeah,
Really?
it would be like a pavement on a highway or street. And then what's going to be installed on top of that is what is called installed BSF 1000. It's a red polyurethane synthetic track surface, which is especially suited. It has a softer texture and it's good for persons who are doing rehabilitation and need a softer cushion to walk on.
Okay. Yeah, if we can make sure we get that scheduled for as early as possible into 26. I know as soon as the weather breaks, people are gonna wanna be back out on the track, so. Councilwoman Fawn.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, do we have bids out for the sanitation company with regards to, I think you and I spoke a couple weeks ago. I know I received some calls from some residents regarding needing another bin. I know we had reached our cap as far as additional bins for those who wanted one. I know we have a list of residents that are interested in a second bin, and you said that that would be something that we would look into with regards to the sanitation bids when they go out. So I wasn't sure if they went out yet, or are they going to go out?
They will be, the bids are in the process of being constructed,
Constructed, okay.
but they won't be formalized until December. And then we'll go out, but we will have a conversation before then, just to be sure what you want included in
Thank
that
you.
bid.
Right, because I would definitely want to be a part of that process before it gets sent out. And I know that I guess you're meeting with them with regards to our wishes. Is that what they're constructing?
No, your wishes will be what goes into the bid.
Okay, when will we have that meeting? Is that going to
Uh,
be at the budget meeting that we have coming up in November?
No, it'll probably be after the League of Municipalities Conference,
Oh,
sometime
okay.
between then and the end of December.
Okay. This will be at a council meeting, or will be like a special meeting, like similar to what we're doing with the
It'll probably be an executive session.
an executive session meeting? Okay. All right, now that's regarding sanitation. Are there any other bids that we're going to review at that time as well?
I don't think so.
Are there any other bids that are currently out? If so, what's for what?
Outside of the ones that we just
Outside of
briefly spoke of.
sanitation?
Mm. The only RFP that we are still or preparing to award a contract for would be for the food pantry, and that will probably happen in the meeting in November.
Okay.
I don't think there are any other bids out.
Thank you.
Was there something that specifically you were looking for, or?
Well, I just didn't want to miss when that happens, when, preparing it, what the council as a whole would like to see. I know we definitely put bids out for the cleaning service as well. A couple of years ago, I think there wasn't a bid that went out. We renewed the contract or something. Then the bid did go out, but no change was made. So I just want to make sure, I'm just trying to ask the questions. I know it usually happens around this time of year after September starts. We start looking at our contractual agreements that we have and how can we make it better, especially services that we provide to our residents. One of the biggies is sanitation, you know.
Right.
So I definitely want to be a part of that conversation. And then any other bids that are currently going to be upcoming that maybe I just didn't remember. So that's why I asked.
So we did go out to bid last year for our cleaning contract, and it was the one-year bid with the option to renew. We're probably going to renew that contract for 2026, and that will be presented to you either in, because I believe we're only having one meeting in November.
Right, because of the reorg, I mean.
Yeah.
Right, so then it will probably be the very first meeting in December for 2026.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Worthy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Harris, I wanted to go back to the track for a moment. I'm requesting support from my colleagues to get signage, temporary signage that says something like, we're under construction, or better Willingboro coming, or something, so that residents who may not hear this discussion, they don't think we've torn up the track and we're just gonna leave them with that asphalt surface. So I'm requesting some kind of support from my colleagues for some kind of temporary signage once that initial work gets started.
Those signs are are being ordered, and they should be, hopefully they will be put into place by next Tuesday, which is the date of the pre-construction meeting. And then hopefully construction will start after that. So I hope they will have at least a week's notice of and then we will put the same information on our social media.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Anything else? All right, before we move on to our resolutions review, we do have a representative here from our Economic Development Committee. This year, we did put out an RFP for a community development coordinator. And he has been working very diligently with our Economic Development Committee to position Willingboro for economic growth. This year, we were very excited to be attending for the second year in a row the Burlington County Bridge Commission's Economic Development event, which is a 30 for 30 event. It has 30 municipalities and 30 developers. You all come together and discuss what the possibilities are for development in your individual towns. Unfortunately, that event was canceled this year due to lack of participation from municipalities, but our Economic Development Committee is very committed to making sure that we present Willingboro as a development-ready township. So Mark is here to share some updates on his work and from the committee. Mark?
Thank you. Good evening. Just to reintroduce myself, my name is Mark DeShield, the Community Development Manager that you guys hired in July. And what I wanted to do today was trying to give you a brief overview of something that we're doing in the next couple of weeks. So one of the things I've been working with the Economic Development Committee to provide some really data-driven analysis so we can provide recommendations to the council concerning economic development and business support. As part of that process, what we want to do to achieve that is we've invited a number of either real estate agents and people, property owners who have properties that are ready for lease or that are vacant to come in for a focus group. And what the focus group will try to do is try to understand what are their challenges in terms of development in Willingboro, what opportunities they think are available in Willingboro. And also part of that process is really what the committee is doing is really developing a theme about Willingboro. And one of the things we're talking about is that Willingboro, with the leadership of the mayor and the council, is redevelopment ready. That there is support for redevelopment in the township. In addition to that, what we're going to provide is another thing is that the economic promise here in Willingboro. I'm looking at the demographic data that we've collected and other data to provide people that this is an opportunity for the future to invest in Willingboro. So we're going to be presenting that also to the focus group. And then finally, just reviewing some of the assets throughout Willingboro that we have in terms of why Willingboro is a special place. And one thing that we want to show is Willingboro really should be the economic center of Burlington County. It's the third largest municipality in this region, and this part of the region, it really should be. And we want to promote that and make sure that people know that. And one way of doing it is getting input from those people who are actually business owners, developers in our community. So we're going to have this focus group. Part of that focus group, we'll also follow that up with some surveys to that focus group to get some answers. What we're going to do prior to the meeting is we'll provide the council with the deck that we'll be providing to the property owner so you can see what we're presenting. In addition, at the end of the year, we'll give the council a full briefing on what we're doing, the committee is doing during economic development. In addition to that, some of the work that I'm doing is really pulling some baseline data and to look at what does the economy here in Willingboro look like by looking at workforce development issues, looking at businesses throughout the township. So this is just a brief kind of high-level overview to let the council know that what we're doing and what we're moving forward. Are there any questions?
Quick question. What opportunities are in place regarding rent relief? Because I know a lot of owners, businesses talk about the price they're paying on their rents now and the square footage, you know, the price per square footage, and a lot of them have to close up shop because they just can't afford it. Are there any opportunities for rent relief?
That's one of the things that we'll be looking at, and I don't have an answer for you right now in terms of what those kind of programs would be, but that's part of this process is to identify what those issues are and then look at what are the either state programs that we can provide, what are programs that we can put together. We're already working with some of the workforce development people to develop some workforce development programs to help. But that's all part of the process, and then we're in the beginning stages of that process.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Disharu.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, we will go to the resolutions overview. So back to Mr. Harris.
Thank you again, Mayor. So for your consideration this evening will be ordinance number 2025-18, which is an ordinance, and this is for public hearing and possible final adoption, an ordinance governing the management of community cats in Willingboro Township, which is commonly known as the TNVR, Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, and Return Program. Resolution number 250 is a resolution authorizing the approval of vouchers for payment and ratification. Resolution number 251 is a resolution authorizing a change order with JH Enterprises for the Performing Arts Center. This is being recommended to the governing body so that they can order an electrical outlet to the PA Performing Arts Center. And that outlet is in the amount of $5,726. When they went to remove the electrical panels, it cut the supply source to a portion of the JFK Center. So we needed to reconnect, make that connection. And so that's the change order for that. Resolution number 2025-252 is authorizing a contract with KC Signs and Awnings. These are for the fabricated Peachtree monument signs that we have placed in the different parks around our community. After the installation, we did find the signs that were missed in the initial plannings. So this is just to go ahead and fabricate and install those 10 signs. Resolution number 253 is a resolution authorizing ratifying a memorandum of agreement between the Township of Willingboro and the GWU, which is the supervisor's contract. And I believe we're going to have a pre-discussion in executive session prior to taking action on this. Resolution number 254 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with the Willingboro Public School District and the Willingboro Township for one school resource officer. Each year, we enter into an agreement with the school district for a resource officer. This year, the agreement for one at the high school, and we are requesting that you approve the agreement based on the terms that were included in the attachment to the resolution. Resolution number 255 is authorizing the township, the police department to participate in the Defense Logistic Agency Law Enforcement Support Office Program, or the 1033 program, which enables the police department to request and acquire excess Department of Defense equipment. I don't know that this municipality has ever utilized the purchase of equipment from that program, but to even be considered, you have to be registered on the program, and you can only do that through a resolution from the governing body. So we just asked to execute that resolution. Resolution number 256 is authorizing to award a contract, a construction services contract for the roadway improvements to Edge Lane. That is being done by Paving Plus, and the contract award amount is $362,927, which 89% is funded by NJDOT grant. Resolution number 257 is a resolution to amend the adopted budget in the inclusion of what we consider a Chapter 159. This represents the $175,000 that grant that we received from Burlington County, which allows us to insert it into our 2025 budget and to begin to spend on it immediately. Resolution number 257 is, I'm sorry, we just went over 257. Resolution number 258 is a resolution authorizing the township to enter into a contract with Field Turf USA. Those are the ones that are going to be doing the track renovation at the JFK Community Center, track and field resurfacing. I just want to be clear that that is not just a track resurfacing, but we're going to be doing the field portion of that as well, which will include some drainage systems, a new overlay turf, and we are also working into that lighting for the field, installed lighting, but that portion won't probably be done until 2026 as well. And then we are also looking into adding bathrooms in those areas for persons who use our facilities, so they have some place to relieve themselves when nature calls. Resolution number 259 is a resolution authorizing a contract with Ascend Construction Management. We are awarding them a contract to remodel the two bathrooms inside the JFK Center, more towards the exercise room, the Welt Fitness Center. And we wanted to get those bathrooms remodeled and up to par. So when the theater is open, they're a little closer to the theater than the other bathroom. So we just wanted to get them beautified. So those are all the things that are being presented to you for this evening for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I have two questions regarding this.
yes, Councilman Anderson.
One with the TNR. It is for clarification. It's my understanding the township did reach back out to the group, and they still have not responded?
And they still have not responded.
All right. The second question I have is regarding the SROs. So it's just for purposes of clarification, is one SRO for the whole school district?
Councilman Anderson, if you want to discuss it, we'd have to open up the
Oh.
motion and then discuss it. If
Okay.
it's just, clarifying what it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that on this SRO, there's one for the whole district.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, we will open up public comment for agenda items only. This is our first public comment for the agenda items that were just discussed by Mr. Harris. This public comment is for 2 minutes only. Please state your name and fill out a card that is placed in the back and to hand to either our clerk or our deputy clerk so that we can get in contact back with you if we're not able to answer your question right away. This public comment is for agenda items open only. Public comment is now open. All right, seeing none, public comment is now closed. Madam Clerk, we'll go on for ordinance 2025-18, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can everyone hear me? I switched mics. I want to make sure that I'm speaking clearly and slowly. Okay, so ordinance for public hearing and final adoption tonight is ordinance 2025-18, which is entitled Ordinance Governing the Management of Community Cats in Willingboro Township, Burlington County, New Jersey. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance only, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment. At this time, I'd like to request a motion to finally adopt ordinance 2025-18.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to make a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2025-50 through 2025-52, 2025-254, and 2025-255, as well as 2025-257 through 2025-259.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the same?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Resolution 2025-253, please. Or no, we're saving that for executive session 256.
So resolution for separate discussion tonight, we have resolution 2025-256, resolution authorizing the Township of Willingboro to award a construction services contract for the roadway improvements to Edge Lane project. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh,
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we can move on to the treasurer. We don't have a treasurer's report this month, but we do have minutes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 7th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman Perone. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, your updates?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I did submit my September monthly report earlier today to everyone. If you have any questions, please let me know. Just quick reminders on the general election. It's coming up. It's in 2 weeks. It's on November 4th, 2025 polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at all your normal polling locations. The deadline to register to vote has now passed for this specific election, but if you would like to vote in the primary in June, you're more than welcome to always come get an application from the clerk's office. Early voting is October 25th to November 2nd at the Whirling Borough Public Library. The deadline to apply for a vote by mail-in ballot through the mail is October 28th, but if you want to apply for a vote by mail-in ballot in person at the county, you're able to do so until November 3rd at 3 p.m. The county has already started sending out vote by mail-in ballots. They started like the last week in September, so you should if you did apply for it, you should either be receiving it, have received it already. If you are concerned that you haven't gotten it yet, you can reach out to my office, or you can reach out to the county. They're the ones that mail it out, so I'm gonna help you contact the county anyway if you reach out to us, but of course, I'm more than willing to do that. I wanted to give council just an update on the solicitors in town. As of right now, we have 2 people with Trinity Solar, 4 people with Top Line Roofing, 2 people with Home Solutions, 1 person with Home Smart First Advantage, 1 person with Green Star Exteriors, 12 people with Eco Shields Pest Control, and 12 people with Allied Experts. If you want to be on the No Knock registry, you can fill out the application. It's either on the website or you can come into my office. We will get you a sticker. If you do see someone come to your residence that is not on this list, please call my office. If it's after hours, call the police. We want to make sure that everyone that is coming up to your doors in town is legally allowed to do so. And these are the people that have passed the background checks and everything from the police and from us. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And then finally, I did want to talk to council about the second meeting in November. I do know in past practice, because of the league, you have canceled it. However, it was advertised in the beginning of the year for a meeting. So if it's the will of the council to either reschedule it or cancel it, I just need a motion from you guys so I can make sure I advertise correctly.
Okay. Is there a motion to cancel the second meeting in November due to the New Jersey League of Municipalities?
And that date is November 18th.
I make a motion.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Madam Mayor, I would request that the administration thoroughly look at all of the things that they need us to sign off on to make sure that it's a comprehensive packet. I know we'll be ending, the end of the year, moving into holidays, so just want to make sure that additional efforts are made to make sure that that's a complete packet for us to review and to bring to attention if there are things that pop up that we need to address, to please bring it since we'll be gone for the league. So just want to make sure we're aligned.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy, as well as I'd also like to remind council that we will be having the budget meetings, the budget hearings as well in November. So we will have a few additional meetings throughout November. It won't just be those 2 meetings. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I have one more thing for you guys. Diamond Dogs dropped off a social affairs application today for this weekend. As the council, you're the municipal issuing authority for the municipality, so I'm not able to deny it. That's up to you guys. I did want to bring this to your attention if you would like to move forward with it. It is for October 25th. From 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. for their annual members Halloween bash. The police chief did already sign off on it, so it's just for the municipal, it's just for you guys to decide if you'd like to move forward with it.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was wondering if there was a copy available for the council. We didn't receive it. I know it came in today, but is there an opportunity for us to see it, to review it, since we're being requested to consider a vote?
Yes, of course. I do have it here if you'd like to look at it. I mean, it's really just their information. And what it's for, if you'd like to look at it.
You can pass it up
give
this
here.
way.
And there's just a draft resolution on the back that's not actually passed.
And I do see we have a representative from Diamond Dogs here this evening. I do know that we've had discussions previously that these should be in 14 days before the event. Yes, I can have you come up.
How you doing today?
Good evening.
All right, we were just, misinformed that today our club license was supposed to be coming up for resolution by the liaison, Detective Brandon. And that's why we didn't put it in, because we thought today we were going for our club license today. So that was why we didn't put it in previous. Well, actually, he told us last council meeting, and then he told us the next one. Then I spoke with the township clerk, and she actually informed me that it would be probably 3 more meetings. So that's why the delay was.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it. No problem. Any other discussion? All right. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Oh, you have unfinished business? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This dates back a while, but I know we've been looking at, not resolutions, been looking at ordinances and looking at or uncovering gaps that may be in our ordinances as we continue to move forward. And so I just wanted to bring to council's attention some of the things that we may want to do a little bit more work on. And that would be the broadcasting ordinance. We don't have clarity on broadcasting. So that's in some municipalities and cities, they have broadcasting ordinances, particularly for houses of worship. So you hear like bells in some communities ringing and things like that. So if we're, as we continue to expand and grow and have development and people moving into the community, we may want to firm that up. Also looking at short-term rental ordinances. Some municipalities and cities have licenses specific to short-term rentals. If that's something that we want to take a look at, it may be good for us to revisit our short-term rentals and how we treat those in town. And also, we've talked about the number of vape shops and smoke shops we have in town and the opportunity to limit the number of smoke shops and vape shops. I think would be something that we should consider further. We've started those conversations, but we haven't continued those. But by maybe the meeting in November, or at least before the close of the year, I hope to have something that we can take a look at and figure out what makes sense for Willingboro. But just wanted to bring that up because we have talked about reviewing ordinances in the past.
May I just piggyback off of Deputy Mayor?
Yes, Council.
Also, one of the things I notice is we allow a lot of shops and different things to open up, but once they open and they don't follow summonses or they pay the summons and continue to do what they do, there's no way to shut it down. So my understanding is the police can only handle certain matters. Code enforcement can only handle certain matters. So what we do up in Irvington is we created a task force where you have an individual from each department. So where this department has say so, this department has say so over different things, it allows you now to go in and exercise what our ordinances are. And at the same time, as Deputy Mayor said, we need to tighten up some of these ordinances because we're facing situations that we may have not faced when they were created. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Anyone else? Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. Um, During our last council meeting under new business, I had presented the Hometown Hero Program whereby Willingboro would um, honor a veteran that currently or past has lived in Willingboro and place a flag in their name to honor their accomplishments and salute them with the flag. During that meeting, it was stated, I was trying to do it for Veterans Day, but you wanted to take a look at the information that I found. So I did email everyone that day, the actual day of the council meeting. I didn't hear any feedback during via email. So I checked, I didn't see it. So I wanted just to follow up with that. I really would like for us to participate in that program. And I know some of the takeaway questions that I heard at that meeting, the last council meeting, was one of the ideas was how long would the flags be up? I do want to bring to your attention that other communities have this program and they don't take the flags down. So it's when you put it up, it stays up. And so I would like for us to keep it up if we do decide to move in that direction. I also understand that we have 24 poles at this time. Again, the idea is to have the poles, the flags going down Veterans Parkway. It does not mean we can't put up additional poles. It also does not mean we cannot put them on different streets. So Willingboro, as we know, was built for veterans to come home and have an affordable place to live, a nice place to live. So again, I would like to hear some feedback from the rest of council regarding that, the Hometown Hero Program.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perone. And just before I get into that, I did, as we're talking about the ordinance updates and some of the things to look back into it, I did want our clerk to just give an update on the ordinance review that we had performed and the report that we got. Mhm.
Okay, so back in 2024, the township decided to contract with eCode, which is our provider for our code book, to do a comprehensive study of all of our ordinances in the code. And it took them, I want to say, maybe 6 months, 8 months to do. We did get a little delayed in responding to it, but now that I know that it happened, they basically create an entire separate website for us to go on. It's a mock of our E-code, and it has comments on every discrepancy we might have in all of our ordinances. It has suggestions for language changes to make it more consistent. And it's throughout the whole code. It also has suggestions to make sure that we're in line with state statutes that may have changed, that, we have not changed ordinances since 1995, whatever. So I did bring it up to Mr. Harris when I first sat down with eCode to go through it. It is one of my big tasks in 2026 to form some sort of task force with our solicitor, the manager, of course, and maybe some of the department heads to make sure we're getting a very diverse and comprehensive group to be looking at all of these ordinances. And then we have two options from there. We can either slowly go through the code and their suggestions, and if we want to change, we can go ordinance by ordinance, or we can work with eCode. They actually will put together a comprehensive ordinance to change everything that we want to change. They'll do the writing, they'll do everything. I would present it to you and you would approve it. So that's another way we could go. So we do have something that we can look at to try and bridge those gaps in the ordinances, because I agree, we want to make sure we are as comprehensive, and we're covering as everything we can. So that is just an option that we'll be looking further at in 2026.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. And the ones that were mentioned here this evening, would you be able to add those to the list just for review?
Yes, of course. Those are we'll make sure we're reviewing before 2026.
Yes, before 2026. Yes, all right. And the,
I wanted to ask her a question
Okay.
about what she could set up.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. With regards to, thank you for updating us on that. I'm looking forward to us getting our codes and everything up to date. You mentioned that they could do it for us. It seems like a daunting task for our department to take on. And I think if we did it in-house, it would take much longer. So my question is that an additional charge if they did it? And do you know how much?
It is an additional charge. I did ask how much it was back in May when I talked to them. I do have the email. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's really, it is a daunting task. It's gonna be something that, you know, we set out weekly meetings and we hit it day by day and, you know, we go through each chapter. But it's one of those things, you know, you may not want to change
Right.
some of the stuff. So we want to make sure we have a say in what we are changing, what we aren't changing. If it does look like there's a majority of things we do want to change, you know, that's something we can look at. But it is an extra charge if we want to have E-code more involved in the ordinance process.
Okay, thank you.
all right. And then regarding the veterans flags, the hometown heroes flags, I did receive your email, Councilwoman Perone, and that was mainly the pricing.
Well, it's the pricing, there should have been presentations there on other towns. There's,
Yeah.
you saw how there's different designs. There should have been pricings on poles
Mhm.
and, yeah.
Yeah, all of the
So
structure.
that's all I received, and I did speak to you see the contact that's there. Did you see his
Mhm.
name? So I was speaking to I'm in communication with that gentleman. He was probably not in there as the turnaround time, but I think I expressed to you that he said it's about 2-week turnaround.
Mhm.
We would go on a list of other communities that are doing it and, meaning presenting their flags or getting it designed.
And I know we had some discussion on the dais last meeting about criteria. We wanted to see some criteria, proposed criteria, and I didn't see that.
Oh,
or-
that should have been in there too. There was a, I'll check to see what I sent you, but there is an attachment and it shows like, let me back up. Criteria would be our decision.
Right.
So, but what was
But
on,
we were looking for a proposal from the committee.
as far as what we're, okay, so the criteria would be residents of Willingboro and served in the military, past or present, meaning that they're, could have passed away and, or still be alive. That was it. That was the only criteria.
Okay, I know we had discussed creating an ordinance, but I'll open it up to the rest of council to give any other comments.
Well, I know because one, Willingboro is a veteran community. We have thousands of veterans. So with the number of 24 polls we discussed, how do we go about selecting them? It wouldn't be fair for us just to pick people that we know randomly. And I know we discussed putting a team together, committee together to put true criterias in place to see what would be included.
Well, that was the takeaway. So that was the criteria that currently, and that takeaway, I mean, those criterias are criterias that I received from the gentleman that I spoke to from the Hometown Here program. He said, here's some of the criterias that they came up with that other townships do. So that's just a start. So if there were additional criteria that the council wanted to add, then it would go back, then I would bring that back to the committee, the Parade and Events Committee, where this is the takeaway from council, they'd like to add this criteria, and it would be added. But so far, that's the criteria that was presented based off of the communication with the people from the program.
And I think I was anticipating more guidance come from the Parade and Events Committee versus the other way. Where the Parade and Events Committee would say, okay, we took the feedback from council, we've worked, you know, in our group, we come out with this additional criteria, some sample language for an ordinance, because I know we wanted to make this a more permanent program
Right.
and not just a one-time thing. So having that criteria, creating an ordinance and making sure this had longevity was important as we move forward in this program.
Right, but that's the thing, I didn't really receive any criterias that was added from the council. There was no takeaway to send back to the committee as far as this is what council would like to see as far as adding to the criteria on top of what we've already come up with.
Yes, and that was, I think, well, me personally, I was looking for more suggestions from the committee.
Oh, you want them to come up with more criteria?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you wanted to be more involved with the committee as far as the discussion of the committee. So that's why we brought it to the council to create, one, the ordinance, of course, and have a solid criteria. But if you want them to come up with more criteria, do you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see additionally to the criteria?
I think I support the initiative, but I don't have any particular suggestions. I just think we need additional criteria to be able to narrow down all of the submissions. Because say all of the veterans
Right.
within Willingboro submit to have a flag, we don't even have enough polls probably throughout the township to
Yeah.
have one for every person that may submit.
Okay, so I'll bring that back to the committee and maybe we'll come up with some more criteria. And I'll even speak with the gentleman that I spoke to, that I'm in contact with, see if there's any additional criteria that maybe we just didn't think of to add.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? All right. Seeing none. We'll move on to new business. And I think we already talked about the municipal best practice, or do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Harris?
We didn't talk about it.
No? Go ahead.
So in anticipation of of its final Appropriations Act, the Division of Local Government Services, every year, they put together this best practice inventory and send it out to municipalities, through which the state uses to obtain vital information about municipal government practices throughout New Jersey. The 2025 inventory assesses each municipality's compliance with different laws and evaluated implementation of fiscal and operational best practices. This inventory answers provide taxpayers with additional means to evaluate their particular municipality's performance. A total of 27, a total of 70 questions get distributed amongst 3 categories. Core competencies, there's 37 questions there. Best practices, 13 questions there. And there are unscored survey questions, which are divided into multiple subparts to better facilitate data tabulation. The state also uses this mechanism to kind of get ideas as to what municipalities are doing. And as they help, it helps them kind of put together their directions for future initiatives. As an example, question number 14 on the best practices from last year was a question. And here's the question: when purchasing new vehicles, does your municipality have a formal policy to purchase hybrid or alternative fuel vehicles whenever such vehicles are suited to the intended use? Last year, we answered no to that question, but we did implement an ordinance for that. So this year, we were able to answer yes to that question. As I stated, there was a total of 50 scored questions for a total of 43.5 points. This year, Willingboro scored 42 points, which qualifies us to receive 100% state aid for 2026. And by law, we are required to have this conversation in the public during a meeting, an open meeting, and allow you to ask any questions or make any comments necessary. The totality of all of the questions and the answers were included, and you can review them at your leisure and ask any questions you feel that you need to know the answer to, and we'd be happy to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Did anyone have any questions on the best practice survey as of yet? All right, we'll come back to that at a later date to just make sure. All right, we've come to that time. It is now time for public comment. This is our general public comment session. Each person that comes up to speak will have 4 minutes to speak. Please make sure you fill out a card that is located in the back with your information in case we are not able to give you a firm answer this evening. When you come up, please state your name. You can hand the card to either our deputy mayor or our deputy clerk or our clerk here, and you will have 4 minutes. This is our general public comment. General public comment is now open.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, administration, and my fellow citizens. Pat Lindsay Harvey, Bedford Lane. I serve as the Commissioner and Chair of the Williamsburg Municipal Utility Authority. And in that time, I've dedicated my tenure to one critical mission, and that's ensuring that every time you turn your tap, you have clean, safe drinking water. But tonight, I'm not here just as an authority figure, but as your neighbor. And I'm here to ask for your help in a very profound threat to our community's health and our pocketbooks. The threat is PFAS, a group of man-made substances that made corporations rich and made people around the world sick. I'm quite sure you all heard of it. PFAS are poisons, toxins, and hazardous substances. They were developed decades ago and have since saturated our environment. They're found in our soil, our air, and our water supply. Corporations developed PFAS in the 1930s and used them in clothing, carpets, firefighting foam, cookware, and more. They knew about the health risks associated with these chemicals far back as 1950s, but they hid the information for half a century while collecting billions of dollars. Because PFAS is so pervasive and lasts for so long, removing it requires complex multi-million-dollar treatment systems. These treatment systems are costly to build, costly to operate. The fundamental principle in environmental law is simple. The polluter is supposed to pay. As you've probably seen on news, the state of New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection sued these mega corporations, including 3M, DuPont, in the U.S. District Court. Recently, the New Jersey DEP chose to settle its claim, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but lawsuits settle after all. But the way these legal agreements were written poses a danger to every single one of us in Willingboro. The threat is to our health, our finances, our water, and our ability to make a claim in the future. The judicial consent orders, or JCOs, threaten to turn the polluter's pay, to turn the polluter pays principle on its head. Here's a simple alarming truth. The state settlement strips the Willingboro Municipal Utility Authority of its independent right to sue polluters. Think about what that means. The WMUA will need to spend tens of millions of dollars to build and maintain advanced filtration systems required to get these toxins out of your water and wastewater. If the state's settlement deals away our right to hold 3M and DuPont accountable, if it silences us, then who is left to pay those enormous costs? And that's you. If the polluters get off the hook, those costs won't vanish. They will land squarely on the backs of Willingboro ratepayers. Oh, gracious, what just happened? Okay. I don't know what my phone just did. Okay. Okay, they were laid squarely on the backs of Willingboro ratepayers, resulting in massive, unnecessary, unjustifiable rate hikes on your utility bills for decades to come. This is not just a technical legal dispute. This is a battle over corporate accountability and who should foot the bill to clean environmental disasters after they occur. It is also an opportunity to tell the Senate that it cannot simply trade away the rights of local authorities like ours without our consent. The 3M comment period has closed, but we have a critical time-sensitive window to fight the second equally dangerous settlement with DuPont and Chemours. The public comment period for DuPont Chemours JCO is open, and it closes just in 11 days on November 1st. This is our opportunity to be heard before these deals are cemented, and our legal right to recovery is forfeited forever. We cannot be silent. Demand by action, Township Council, is tonight. We urge our township officials to immediately draft and submit.
It's your time.
Okay, Commissioner Weston's going to finish. I know it's pretty long.
Greetings, Council. William Weston, 44 Bosworth Lane, and I will be continuing with the statement. And of course, this is, if the settlement stays the way it is, there will be no opportunity for compensation for remediation. The WMUA has already begun building facilities to make sure the water is safe. So we're urging the council, we're urging our township officials to immediately draft and submit a formal resolution of objection to the DEP against DuPont. Our township voice must be heard at the state level to protect its citizens. If necessary, we can assist in that process and drafting. And of course, for the residents, this message is directed to our ratepayers. I'm not asking you to draft a complicated legal brief. I urge you to communicate with DP, the governor, and attorney general to express your opposition to any settlement that would hinder the Willingboro Municipal Utilities Authority from pursuing its own claims for cost recovery. Make it clear that Willingboro families should not bear the burden of DuPont's pollution. In times like these, it's become clear that while one person alone may struggle to bring about change, that person may honestly be ignored. But if we work together, we can have an incredible impact. Corporations can ignore one or two people complaining, but we cannot be easily dismissed when we unite our voices. Together, we are stronger, louder, and more persuasive. This is our chance to ensure that justice is served and that the burden of pollution and environmental neglect doesn't fall unjustly on the residents of Willingboro. By standing together, we can hold corporations accountable and safeguard our community's future. Let's take action now, communicate our concerns, and demand the accountability our community deserves. Each letter, each call, and each message adds to the chorus of our collective and demand justice and equality. Join us, let your voice be heard together. There is nothing we cannot accomplish. So please reach out to the WMUA. We have a template letter that you can send to the DEP and we'll have the address. But this is so that we can have the ability to do a lawsuit because they did a settlement, and right now that would be it. But if we can change that, we'll be able to garner more compensation from DuPont. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weston. Good evening.
You need this. Tony Mathis, 26 Medford Lane. Pleasure to be here. Thank you. I'm going to read because I have limited time. I did some research about, excuse me, I have some concerns about 5-year tax exemptions and abatement programs. And I understand Willingboro is part of Urban Enterprises Zone or Urban Enterprise Zone, which is called UEZ. And my question is, which businesses in Willingboro receive these tax exemptions or abatements? And if so, when will these tax breaks expire? First question. 2, how does this benefit the community, more specifically the residents? I read that certified businesses with UEZ, they can charge customers a half the standard New Jersey sales tax rate on many retail purchases. I've never received any of those discounts. I understand it could be the half rate could be 3.3125. So that's one of my questions, if there are any of these businesses that do offer sales tax deductions. Now, my concern is that businesses and residents may have to bear larger portions of the tax burden. Well, mainly residents, I would say. Less taxes collected can decrease funding to schools and libraries. And I'm concerned if that is a problem here, if the fact that we do abatements or tax exemptions, is it affecting our libraries and our schools? Also, a lot of times when when these businesses go out of close up, it ends up costing our property taxes to go up. That's what I understand. I could use some clarification on that. And I'm also concerned, I used the example of Medco, which changed over to Express Scripts. They came into Willingboro and they promised, we're going to promise that Willingboro residents get jobs. And what happened was, I guess after the tax abatement, they moved on, went to Florence, and they didn't really fulfill some of those, I think, promises that they had said that they would make. So I'm concerned about I'm concerned about that issue. Moving on. There has been some concerns that a few of our stores are not providing quality services or merchandise as may be found in less brown and Black communities. There has been talk about boycotting instead of us having to result in boycotting. Would the township have any suggestions or requiring quality control standards for businesses in our community? An example today, I went to Cherry Hill and I went to the dollar store and I noticed that fully stocked shelves and you were not finding that there were boxes all in the hallways and things like that, in the aisleways. So my concern is quality control. Do we have anything in place for that with the township? And so my question, which business in Willingboro receive tax exemptions or abatements? And if so, when will these breaks expire? Any of these businesses offer UEZ sales tax breaks? Have the tax exemptions or abatements decreased funding to our schools and libraries?
Ms. Mathis, your time is over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis.
Can you come back up?
No,
Okay.
only one time. Anyone else?
Greetings, everyone. Peace and love. Got 4 minutes.
Can we have your name, please?
Yes, my name is Jacob Hawes. I am a former resident of Willingboro. Let me just give you a little rundown of who I am. I moved to Willingboro when I was about 10 years old from Philadelphia. I moved to Rittenhouse, which is ironic because it's very close to Cathedral of Love, which I just seen the pastor, so that was awesome to get that memory back. So I was in Rittenhouse, a lot of family in Willingboro, a lot of history in Willingboro throughout my youth. So here I am today, by the grace of God, standing in front of the council. I just wanted to shed some awareness to an up-and-coming business, which is called Hawes Moving. And I went into, the thought came to my mind, rather, to bring that particular up-and-coming business to the township of Willingboro. I came to a council meeting a few months ago. I was invited to one by a friend, and I learned a lot, and I'm really big on education. And I think that everyone will agree on that it's really important. So I learned a lot, and I also learned that Willingboro is into bringing on new businesses, the type of businesses, as well as the quality of these businesses. And I was intrigued by that. Took me some time, but it led me here today just to, again, shed some light on the business and at the interest we have with, being a resident of Willingboro. So thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good evening, Nicole Nicholas. Good evening, Mayor, members of the Township Council. I'm a concerned resident, of course, a citizen here of Willingboro. I stand before you tonight to highlight a profound crisis of leadership, accountability, and safety within our school district that requires immediate public attention and intervention. This instability directly impacts the welfare of our children and the trust of our taxpayers, especially in light of the recently passed $49.7 million bond referendum. We cannot ignore the recent incident involving Board of Education member, Ms. April Maxwell Henley, I apologize, who was physically restrained multiple times after charging aggressively at a citizen, myself, for asking a legitimate public question. Ms. Maxwell Henley holds the title of an educator at KIPP Academy in Camden It is deeply concerning and alarming that an individual tasked with teaching self-control and appropriate conduct to children would display such a violent lack of composure in a public setting. The confrontation was specifically triggered by my question regarding the Willingboro Education Foundation and its 509(a)(2) public charity status, and its having the address of Country Club Administration as its business address listed with the IRS. This was a legitimate financial inquiry into a matter tied to a board member's conduct. Her public motto is passion to action. However, her documented pattern of aggressive behavior, public denials, and subsequent private harassment of community members reveals a more accurate ethos, impulse to illusion. This is the illusion that personal attacks can distract from serious questions about her official conduct and financial ties. This behavior stands in stark contrast to the dedicated child-focused leadership we have seen from the suspended superintendent, Dr. Malcolm X Outlaw. The community is desperate for stability, not drama. The community overwhelmingly supported the $49.7 million bond referendum because we were told it was critical for facility health, with roof repairs being a central and immediate need. It is now the fall, temperatures are dropping, and the weather is worsening. To my knowledge, roof repair work has not begun in any of the identified buildings. Where's the sense of urgency? The school board asked the community to give them a massive vote of confidence and financial commitment. In return, we expect responsible oversight and immediate action on critical infrastructure. The delay is fiscally irresponsible and casts doubt on the integrity of the entire bond process. The recent incident involving Ms. Maxwell Henley shined a spotlight on long-ignored critical issue, the systemic failure of the district's security team. During the confrontation, the security officer on duty failed to intervene and protect a citizen from an elected official's aggression. This dereliction of duty occurs in a district already grappling with a safety crisis where 3 of our schools were ranked on the top 30 most violent schools list in New Jersey in 2024. We have verifiable proof that there are students that have been attacked by staff, both during conflicts and as innocent victims while attempting to learn. How can parents feel confident in the security of our children when the security team cannot even maintain order and safety at a public board meeting, and when the board secretary, business administrator, later states that no incident report is necessary? This indicates a fundamental lack of administrative accountability for public safety. I'm asking on you all to please look into the immediate investigation into Ms. Maxwell Henley's conduct at the school ethics complaint that I filed against her and police report, the start date and transparency around the bond referendum and the repair work, and the systemic failures of our district security oversight. We need leadership that embodies, once again, accountability, not impulse to illusion.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Devin Renee Flask. I am here as a concerned parent for my child's safety within your school district. Sorry about that. My son is a level 2 autistic child with a language disorder. His brain is he's mentally 3 years old in his brain. He is 2 years behind his physical age and mentally. I had registered him in June and requested an IEP. I didn't hear from anybody from the Board of Education or anybody from registration until at the beginning of August, and we had our meeting to sign consent. On October 9th, I was told that my kid was not autistic enough at this IEP meeting and that he was going to in general ed class. On September 8th, I finally collapsed and let him go to school instead of holding him at home because he didn't have an IEP, even though all his evaluations were done in the middle of August. I get told by my son, who was afraid to talk to me, that a teacher had hurt him. My son has learned a valuable lesson and was able to communicate that somebody actually hurt him and was able to tell me for the first time. But he wouldn't look me in the face and tell me. He only looked at my husband and told us, bad teacher, yank arm, put on yellow spot, put on yellow spot. When I brought it to the principal's attention, she had no idea. And then she calls me to say that she had talked to the teacher and a child study team and that nothing actually happened. I had spoken to Dr. Malcolm X Outlaw in an email requesting that my son be sent to an alternative school. He then emails me and he CC'd me and another member in the special education department and the principal of J.C. Stewart, requesting that an incident report be filed, and he requested it. I then submitted on September 15th to the director of the special ed department release documents, giving permission to release documents to my advocate, including the incident report. My advocate got a phone call later on that day saying that there is no incident report. I have no idea what you're talking about. Then in the IEP meeting, telling me that my son will still be in general ed class and that I can send him back to school because he now has an IEP. His IEP is not a full IEP because they told me he is not autistic enough. That even though he's medically diagnosed since November 2nd of 2022, that he is autistic with a language disorder. Even though he's medically diagnosed, he doesn't meet the autism criteria for the special ed program or this autism program within the schools. I was very furious, and for this concern of my child's safety, because this teacher had hurt my son is now petrified of the word school. He screams, he cries, and he hides in a ball. It breaks my heart. And for 3 weeks, my son did not want me to give him hugs, didn't want me to give him kisses, didn't want cuddles, didn't want to take food from me or drinks, didn't want me to bathe him. My son is 5 and just learned how to potty train. He cannot wipe his own butt. And I have to do it, and he wouldn't let me do it. I am his primary caretaker. His father works 2 full-time jobs to keep us afloat, so his father isn't home all the time to help take care of him. I am his primary caretaker, and it broke my heart to know that my kid didn't want anything to do with me. And nobody on that Board of Education and nobody within the Board of Education in the schools will do anything. There is an incident report because Outlaw does have it. It was in his office, and I still have yet to receive that incident report to know exactly what happened. And I'm very upset with that because I'm being told there is no incident report.
Ma'am,
I don't know what you're talking
that's your
about.
time. Thank you.
Sherelle Hughley, 25 Stonehaven. I'm not going to even take 4 minutes. I just want to say one thing. I have been here 53 years. I moved here at 9. I'm 61. This is the worst I've seen the township or the school district. The school district, I'm just here because I want to know how the township don't know what's going on in the district. The school district, where kids in early childhood are being hair pulled out, abused, no diapers involved, but they call diapers on us though. They will call diapers on you, but nothing is called on them. I got a report, I had to call institutional abuse on them for a grandchild getting jumped by staff and 2 other friends. It's ridiculous. I just want to know, why is the township failing the school district like it's not part of Willingboro? That's all I have to say, and I'm done.
Thank you.
There you go, man. I can finish part of what Devin was gonna say, because I'm Devin's daddy. I'm the grandpa, or papa, as he says, because he cannot say the word grandpa, but he's not autistic enough. My name is Edward Lamson. I live at 122 Somerset, here in Willingboro. I'm here to talk about my grandson, Nathan Flash Jr. He's an autistic child. He functions at a 3-year-old level. They denied him a proper IEP. And I know because I worked in mental health for years. I know my grandson. He can't hold a crayon. He can't hold a pencil because he doesn't know how. But he's mainstreamed? They mainstreamed him into a class. They put him on that yellow dot. That was a timeout from 9 a.m. until school was over, the first day of school. They hurt his shoulder. He came home sad. He left excited. And I was proud. She registered him in June. I believe the state says they have to do an IEP within 90 days. Their IEP was not finished within 90 days. It's wrong. I'm here also to talk about Ms. Barrios, who is the contact for the special ed, and she's doing nothing. Outlaw got suspended, and all of a sudden, the incident report disappeared. It became, the Epstein file. It's gone because they can't find it. I'm also here to talk about Miss Maxwell Henley. Miss Maxwell Henley, at a school board meeting, looked at my daughter after she said, now my daughter's a passionate person. She gets a little bit of her daddy. She gets a little carried away. She was leaving. And Miss Henley, who was still acting as a representative of the school board, told her, F you. Only used the entire word. My daughter came home upset, came to me. That is unacceptable and unprofessional. How is she still on the board? How is she there when she's not doing the job to deal with children? She's running again. What is going on with our school system? My grandson needs to go to a school that can deal with his issues, but they don't want to lose their funding. My grandson is not there to give them new roofs or pretty grass. My grandson needs an education from people who understand, compassionate, and have empathy for him and his mother. Miss Henley has ruined your school board. And all I'm asking is, after you investigate, you terminate her and get her off the list because she has other lawsuits going on from other parents. There, some of them. They're going to come up and talk. This is unacceptable. I'm up here. I got all kinds of medical issues, but I'm up here being professional and being courteous and trying not to be mean and vindictive because that's not my nature. This woman was vindictive when my daughter walked out.
Sir, your time is up.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jenny Beatty. Jenny Beatty. I'm a resident of Willingboro. I live at 122 Somerset Drive. Devin Renee Flask is my daughter. Nathan Flask Jr. is my grandson. I went through the school district. I know the stupid games that they tend to play. I was put in Title I program, not for any other reason other than funding from the state. I exceeded test scores that would take me out of it. My mother had to fight to take me out of those programs. So I'm well aware of how the school board and whatnot operate. I was part of the 91 class of Willingboro High School. With that being said, my mother's family is a founding member of this community. She moved here in 1959. They went through the school district. My uncle was first class of Kennedy High School. Okay. Again, just to prove I have roots in this community and school district. My grandson is autistic. I had the privilege of being able to live with him and watch him get up every morning, go to bed every night, and watch my daughter struggle with just the challenges that an autistic parent has to face on a daily basis, now compounded by that of the school board and child study team and special education department that don't want to relinquish power, that abuse their power, they abuse their students. I watched my grandson go from this exuberant, loving child, always sat with Nana in the evening. I'd get hugs when I come home. I have a 10-year-old daughter that lives with me as well. She'd come home from school and get, Aunt Ty, you're home. He does not speak very well. He drops letters, so you have to know how to decipher what he says. That all disappeared September 8th when he came home from school. There's no more excitement from him. A child that age should not be coming home from school angry, upset, and in tears, and withdrawing from family that they live with on a regular basis and see 24/7. He withdrew from 3 family members in this household, myself, his mother, and his aunt. It's unacceptable, all because a female, I use this term loosely, educator felt the need to put their hands on a child, knowing that there was a speech barrier, so there was no risk, or so they thought, of this child coming home and saying anything to anybody. Why has the school board been allowed to go unchecked and not answer for any of these children and accusations that have been brought before the school board? There is no answer. We'll continue with the movement later. We'll continue next meeting. Years later, we're still addressing the same students. And now my grandson is one of them, and I find it unacceptable. And I'm asking you to hold these members accountable for their actions or lack thereof, and remove the teachers from these positions that they hold. And this is all over your Facebook pages, Williamboro past and present, Williamboro current members, any Williamboro page, go on it and read. These parents are crying out for help, and they're not getting any, which is why we are here tonight asking you to hold them accountable and get answers for these parents. I see my time is coming to an end. I have trust and faith in you to do what is right by the students, not the school board.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. All right, we had a number of comments. First, I'd like to thank the parents of students in Willingboro School District for coming and expressing their concerns this evening. I will address some of your concerns as we go down the list. To the WMUA, I think as a council, we consult with legal in order to write an objection letter and provide support within that. And I would encourage all residents to stand with the WMUA in this lawsuit. As we know, PFAS can have detrimental results on our health, and the polluter should be paying. So thank you for bringing that issue to our attention, Commissioner Lindsay Harvey and Commissioner Weston. Ms. Mathis, you did talk about the 5-year tax relief and abatements. I think some of them, they're commonly referred to as pilot programs. And Mr. Harris, would you be able to get back with Ms. Mathis about any existing pilot programs that we have? We don't have many in town that are in town currently. I'm also not aware of any UEZ sales tax discounts that are current in the town. And Mr. Harris, if you have anything to add on that.
So I will get back in touch regarding pilots. I believe the only pilots that we have currently are related to the town square, town center. Willingboro is not a UEZ, an urban enterprise zone. I believe the only communities in Burlington County that are urban enterprise zone is Pemberton and Mount Holly. There is no benefit of decreased sales tax and those things associated with those zones that apply to Willingboro, but I will have further conversation with Ms. Mathis.
Okay, thank you. And then also I'd ask just inspections, just to make sure that they're checking on the local businesses in the interior to make sure that they're following the codes, making sure that the fire hazards are mitigated and things like that. And if they're not in good standing, then they be issued fines just like anyone else within the township. Thank you, Mr. Tunstall. All right, we had Mr. Hawes come up. Thank you for highlighting your new business. We were always glad to see new businesses here in town. Hawes Moving is the company that he highlighted. So welcome to Willingboro and welcome back to Willingboro. And I would encourage you to set up a call with our clerk to make sure you get your mercantile license if you haven't already done that. Our Economic Development Committee is working on some initiatives to highlight local businesses and local business directory on the website. So by connecting with the clerk's office and making sure your mercantile license is up to date, you will be included in those programs. So I wish you all the best of luck here in Willingboro. Then we had a number of residents talk about the school board. And I'll say, just as one member of council and as the mayor, I hear all of your concerns. I too see the complaints on Facebook, on social media. I hear complaints from residents as I'm walking around town. And it is saddening and concerning. One thing I do want to just remind all of Willingboro of is that our school board is an independently elected body. Willingboro residents elect their own school board. The school board members are the members that you have elected to serve. There is a critical election coming up November 4th and the week before for early voting. There are 3 seats up for election and there are 5 school board candidates that are running for those seats. So I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you to please participate in that election. All of the things that you're wishing to see, the complaints that you have, anything that you're seeing that you're unhappy with, your vote is your voice and your vote can change that. So I encourage you to get out, tell your neighbors, your friends, your relatives that live in town to make sure that they are voting on November 4th for the candidates that they want to see in those seats. Other than that, I know there's a lot of things going on right now in the school board. As I said, we don't have any influence over the internal decisions of the school board, but I would also encourage you, and I heard one of you say that you have already filed an ethics complaint. I encourage you to bring up any of these issues to higher authorities, to the state Department of Education, to file police reports with our police department if it needs to go that far. And we will support you in the ways that we can, but in those internal decisions, you have elected the people that you want to serve you. Any other council members have anything to say on that issue? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the families for coming out to share on the record what those concerns are. Yes, we are a separate governing body. We don't appoint our school board members like in some communities in some different cities. Their form of government is different. It is very disheartening. It's very disheartening. It's been disheartening for quite some time. And so I echo the mayor's sentiments that we've got to get more people to come out to vote in the elections, to let their voices be heard. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say on the record. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
I'm just going to echo the sentiments of my council colleagues. I know at times it takes a lot of courage. It was really disheartening to hear the story about the young man. Really, really disheartening. But as has been stated, we don't have control or power over it. But I am happy that you came out, took the courage to let us hear what's going on. And at the end of the day, you got to get together. You got to get your friends and families, get your stories out. It's election time. You got to have them vote. That's going to be their voice. That's going to be their voice. So many people say it's not important, but until they hear stories like this, then it hits deep down because everybody's not aware. We sit up here in the township and some of these stories we are unaware of as a whole. So I just want to say thank you again, once again, exercise your right to vote, get your message out. And like I said, we can support, as the mayor said, the council can support to whatever levels we can and what, abilities we have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. I just want to, with regards to some the comments that were mentioned or concerns that were mentioned regarding the child who is autistic. I too have a daughter who's autistic. She did go to Willingboro, and the avenue that you will need to take is going to be in the courtroom, not this courtroom. It's going to be a higher up. You're going to have to fight for your child's and be your child's voice. It's not easy. It gets pretty expensive. But there are parent groups for special needs. I'm not sure if they handed you a handbook. There are resources in there, and if the child is expressing any type of physical abuse, no different than, a neighbor physically assaulted your child, like the mayor stated, there's police reports and that type of avenue. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And yeah, with regard, I did hear a bunch of different stories regarding an incident at the school district, and but I also, heard that there was a huge lawsuit of theft that took place regarding a special committee where money was stolen, and to my understanding, that is where Miss April Maxwell Henley had reported that, and the attorney represented Willingboro, and that person has to now pay back the money. And so again, we are not the judge. We are not the authorities to determine who is right or who is wrong. However, just, again, govern ourselves accordingly. But yeah, that is what I've read and heard and saw. That money was taken from a charity, and that individual has to pay it back. So that's all I can say about that. And this meeting here today is to hear the concerns of the township, such as your trash is not being picked up, you'd like the taxes lowered, things like that, different events that you would like to see happen in Willingboro. We want to hear from you, but we want to make sure you're addressing your concerns to the right governing body. If you have issues with your water, it's the MUA meeting. If you have issues with the school district, it's the school board meeting. So I don't want you to exert your energy in the wrong location. We don't hire the superintendent. We don't terminate the superintendent. We hire our police officers. We hire the judge that works for the township, our inspections department, to make sure your resident is safe and clean. That's what we do. But again, to spread stories at this meeting about your neighbor or about another public official, it's unfair, and it causes violence. It causes disturbance because it is one perspective from one individual. So what I will say is, this is not the bullying microphone. This is not the place to come and bully anyone. If someone has assaulted you, it's 911.
We can't have any comment
I will-
from, we can't have any comment from the audience at this moment. Thank you.
I'll conclude there. Thank you.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Thank you. Although we don't have direct influence on those decisions, I do appreciate the comments coming to the township. We do have meetings with, we are all concerned about the wholeness of Willingboro. That is the truth. So we do have meetings. We've had the mayors, previous mayors have had meetings with the superintendent and board members. Again, we don't directly influence, but if we're trying to be a one Willingboro, I think some of the comments are definitely needed here, and it forms our perspective, and it also guides our conversations with leadership. Obviously, there's been a change in superintendent right now. So some of those some of those previous conversations may go down the drain, and we have to start over. But I don't want you to think that because we don't answer, we'll probably never answer on Facebook. That's why this is the forum. We don't do business on social media. So this is the forum to speak what you need to say. To Councilwoman Perron's point, that, you know, yes, you do need to use your energy over at the school board, but I do definitely agree that you should bring it here too, so that we can have the conversations as leaders in this community. So I do thank you for making it known. And as the mayor has said, you know, we can have the conversations that we need to have on a leadership to leadership basis. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so once again, I just want to thank those parents and caregivers from students in our school district for coming out tonight. It's so important that we hear all the stories, and this is, while this is not the board that has influence over many of those actions that need to happen, as Councilwoman McIntosh reiterated, we do want to hear your concerns. Public comment is general public comment. You can come up and speak for 4 minutes on why the sky is blue if you want. But it is your time. It is the people's time to express their concerns throughout the municipality, and we appreciate you coming to express those concerns. We have taken notes, we've written everything down, and we will have some meetings and use any of our powers where we can. But as I said, I encourage you to follow the correct channels for your complaints. If that needs to be a police report, you can see our police department, and as well as higher authorities, whether it be the state Board of Education or Commission of Education, any other reports that you might want to file. But I appreciate you advocating for your child. We applaud your efforts here tonight, and we encourage you to vote on November 4th. All right, I think those were the end of the public comments. We'll move on to council comments, and then I'll entertain a motion for executive session. Any council comments?
I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Once again, thank you for allowing your issues to be brought before us. So this way it is documented and, you know, bringing it to our awareness. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to say thank you again as well. And just want to remind you that it takes a lot of energy to change the trajectory of any election, and the loudest voice doesn't always win. Also, believe people when they show you who they are and when they tell you who they are. I got the opportunity to hear from a candidate on the ballot who said that they are ratchet and proceeded to say they had a ratchet campaign and used the letters of ratchet to explain what ratchet meant, and was very proud of being ratchet and having a ratchet campaign. So when people tell you who they are in their campaign, believe them, and then go back and watch the behaviors, because the behaviors are there. These are not new behaviors. And so I think it's very important, whether it be electing people on the council or the school board, watch the behaviors, watch the consistency. If you show up just once or twice, you'll miss it. It's like watching a TV show. You watch a character in one episode, it's perfect. Watch the whole season. And so I think it's important that we tune in for seasons and not just for episodes. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy. If there's no other comment, any other comment? Councilwoman Klein.
Again, and I echo some of the sentiments that were stated earlier. Yeah, I condone expressing your opinion, but what I don't condone is bullying. And it's not okay, and I will say it again, to come to any meeting and promote violence. And the way you do that is by name calling, creating stories about a person who's not present. That's called gossip. And again, talking in the audience when you're not time to speak, it's disorderly. And at this meeting, you will see that I am not going to sit here and allow a disorderly meeting. And I speak it from this bench all the way out. So when it comes to speaking of someone else's behavior, if there's something that they've done to you, there are proper adult ways to handle that. If something is happening in your child's classroom, you deal with it with those individuals. You don't come to the microphone and bully anyone, because you wouldn't want it happening to you. Respect begets respect. Our police department is not here to handle bullying or intentional antagonizing behaviors against our neighbors, against our employees. So I am one councilwoman that will let you know it's not okay. That's not the way we do business in Willingboro. And as Councilman McIntosh said, we will not respond on Facebook because we are a professional body. And that is how we will conduct ourselves, and that is what we will expect from our community. Yes, you've elected certain peoples to certain seats, except for the MUA. The MUA, we appoint those bodies to sit in those seats. So again, in closing, I'm not one that's going to condone bullying, because bullying leads to what? Violence in the school, violence in the church, violence in the municipal buildings. So it's not okay, but it is okay to have your own opinion, but do it respectfully. Thank you.
Stay
Thank you.
tuned for season 2.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pearl. All right, before we go into executive session, once again, I'd like to thank all of our community members for coming out. I want to remind you once again about the critical election that we have November 4th and the week before for early voting. Not only do we have school board members on the ballot, but we also have governors, we have assembly people, we have 2 council seats. There are a number of issues that are on the ballot and positions that are on the ballot that need your voice, that need your input. And I encourage you to not only take yourself to the polls, but take the people around you to the polls. Remember to door knock the day of the election and make sure all of your neighbors have voted. Do your research on the candidates that are presented to you, and vote according to your interests, your livelihood, your heart, and not just your party. All right. With that said, I will entertain a motion for executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call. Oh, we do.
Yeah,
need
can I
statement.
read the resolution? Okay.
Also add, you need to add as a topic in executive section, collective bargaining agreement terms and conditions.
Correct. Yep. So, Resolution 2025-260 tonight is resolution authorizing a closed executive session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act. This will be for discussing techniques utilized in protecting the safety and property of the public, as well as contract negotiations.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll do a roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We may be taking action when we return from executive session. We should be in executive session for about 45 minutes. Can I have a motion to return from executive session?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Councilwoman Perron. Roll call?
I got that. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
We are now out of executive session. It is
9:56.
9:56.
Okay.
All right, Madam Clerk, will you read the resolution for the license?
for Diamond Dogs.
Diamond Dog.
So, you did already motion to approve it. However, we do need, to submit a resolution to the ABC. So this is going to be Resolution 2025-261, resolution granting a social affairs permit and authorizing the township clerk to certify the same application. Again, this will be for Saturday, October 25th from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. for their annual Halloween bash. I get a motion in a second.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perron, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And we have no other action tonight. I'd like to entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perron, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
The time is now 9:57. We are adjourned.